Heartwarming revelation. He discovers she's pregnant after 7 months, an inspiring turn of events. Dave's life was a well-worn routine, like the grease-stained coveralls he donned each morning. His heart raced with hope for a brighter tomorrow, especially for his young wife, Emily. Rising before dawn, he'd rev up his beat-up pickup truck and drive to the shop, breathing in the familiar smells of motor oil and gasoline that mingled with the laughter and camaraderie of fellow mechanics. It was the kind of place where dreams of stability took root, where their small-town American values thrived. But as he pulled into the driveway that day, the world around him felt different, heavy with clouds of uncertainty. Walking into their modest home, the silence weighed on him like a sack of tools on his shoulders. He didn't expect to find Emily hidden away from the world, but the muffled sobs reached him first. Curiosity tugged at his heart, and he followed the sound to their bedroom. There she was, leaning into her pillow, her face streaked with tears. And there, through her shirt, was the undeniable curve of a baby bump, a 7-month secret wrapped in anguish. His heart pounded, an avalanche of emotions crashing down on him. Love, fear, confusion. The weight of impending fatherhood slammed against his chest like a brick wall. The life he envisioned had been built on the very foundations of hard work and perseverance. That dream now felt like fragile glass, ready to shatter at any moment. Emily, how long? He stumbled over the words, feeling like a deer caught in headlights. She looked up, her eyes pool with sorrow. I couldn't find the right time to tell you. The words hung between them like fog, heavy and suffocating. In that moment, every societal expectation clawed at him. Questions of masculinity and worth consumed him. What will our neighbors think? Echoed in his mind, making him feel even smaller. Love for Emily battled against the fear of judgment, fear of not being enough to give their child what he never had. The anger of miscommunication simmered beneath the surface, and with it, resentment about the search for more time, more money, more understanding. Before he could process the weight of his realization, disaster struck their tight-knit community. A tornado roared through the neighborhood, tearing homes apart like paper. As they stood amidst chaos, neighbors rushed to help each other, arms wide open, offering warmth in the storm. In their vulnerability, Dave found something beautiful. Strength was born not just from hard work, but also from reaching out for help. The storm passed, leaving devastation in its wake and a renewed sense of connection among the people. Dave glanced at Emily, their fears still tangled together. Yet surrounded by this newfound support, they began to realize the importance of communication, reliance, and love in the face of uncertainty. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As they stood side by side, the future loomed over them like looming clouds after the storm. Would they make it through this, heal their relationship before the baby arrived? Would love be enough to bridge the gaps of confusion and frustration? Questions filled the air, a fragile thread of hope tied to their hearts as they prepared to face the unknown together. The days that followed the storm brought a strange blend of urgency and reflection for Dave and Emily. They found themselves sorting through the remnants of their lives, the damage serving as a stark metaphor for their fractured relationship. Each fallen branch and scattered piece of debris reminded them of the fragility of their own situation, a future they desperately wanted, now so uncertain. Dave tapped his fingers nervously against the steering wheel of his truck as he sat parked in their driveway, staring at the home that felt like both a sanctuary and a battleground. Emily was inside, resting her hands on her belly, feeling the gentle movements of their child. But to him, That feeling of joy was clouded by the unresolved tension between them. He wanted to face this challenge together, but fear gripped his throat like a vice. As he stepped inside, he caught sight of Emily kneeling on the floor, sorting through blankets. She looked up, her eyes shining with determination, but also vulnerability. "I thought I could start organizing things for the baby," she said softly, attempting to bridge the chasm that had opened up between them. "Yeah, that's a good idea," he replied, though his mind was racing with doubts. He realized that they would need to prepare, not just their home, but also their hearts. As they worked side by side, quiet moments turned into shared laughter, small victories brightening the heavy air between them. Still, each smile felt layered with uncertainty. "Do you think we'll be okay?" Emily asked, pausing as she folded a tiny onesie with a pattern of blue stars. Dave hesitated, wrestling with the truth. "Yeah, I think so. It's just a lot to take in." He leveled his gaze at her. "But we're in this together, right?" She nodded, her expression filled with hope. "I know, Dave. I want to be open with you. I was scared to tell you because I didn't want to burden you." Her voice trembled with sincerity. "Burden? You're my wife. You could never be a burden," he responded, taking a step closer. "The truth is, I was scared too. I never pictured myself as a dad. I don't want to let you or our baby down." In that moment, vulnerability opened a channel of understanding between them. "We have to lean on each other," Emily said, "and maybe our neighbors too. They really stepped up after the storm." Dave smiled, warming to the idea. "They showed us that it's okay to ask for help," he acknowledged. "Let's talk to them. Maybe share our news. I mean, we need all the support we can get." As the sun set outside, painting their home in soft shades of orange and pink, they felt a flicker of hope igniting between them. Perhaps their community could become their second family. Perhaps their fears might turn into strengths. Later that week, under the bright blue sky, they attended a gathering in the town square, neighbors coming together to help one another rebuild in the aftermath of the storm. With each smile and shared story, the knot inside Dave eased a little. He could feel Emily's hand in his, steady and reassuring, reminding him that they were not alone. As laughter echoed around them, he glanced at the faces of their friends, people who had battled through storms with them, both literal and emotional. He realized that they were part of something much larger, a tapestry of resilience woven by shared experiences. The moment felt significant. "Why don't we tell them?" he whispered to Emily, his pulse racing with a mix of excitement and dread. "I think it's time," she replied, her eyes brightening. With hearts pounding, they stepped toward their friends, ready to share the news that could change their lives forever. But as Emily took a deep breath, a shadow caught Dave's eye, something stirring at the edge of the crowd. He squinted, heart racing. What was going on? Before he could process his thoughts, a familiar face emerged from the throng, and a wave of unexpected emotion washed over him. This could change everything. Dave's heart thudded against his ribcage as the familiar figure stepped into view. It was Sam, his older brother, the one who had left town years ago for an adventure that seemed long forgotten. They hadn't spoken much since he ventured out west. But here he was, standing amongst their friends, a silhouette painted against the warmth of the gathering, looking different yet unmistakably the same. "Sam?" Dave gasped, a mixture of disbelief and joy washing over him. "Hey, little brother," Sam replied, his grin wide and contagious. He stepped closer, enveloping Dave in a quick, tight hug that felt both familiar and foreign. The warmth surged through Dave, igniting emotions he hadn't felt in a long time. "I heard about the storm. I had to come help out." Dave felt a weight lift off his shoulders. "It's great to see you. I didn't know you'd be back." And in that shared moment, Surrounded by a crowd of relieved and smiling faces, the urgency of the revelation slipped away. Emily, still feeling the thrill of holding on to their secret, lingered quietly by Dave's side, watching with a hint of surprise as Sam began to mingle, instantly reuniting with familiar friends. "Wow, it's been years since we've all been together," Dave remarked, looking into the crowd where laughter echoed and memories flickered. Emily leaned into him, her warmth grounding him. "You should tell him," she encouraged softly. "He should be one of the first to know." But doubt flickered within him. What if Sam couldn't connect with the reality of their lives? "I don't want him to think I'm just settling down," he murmured uncertainly. "What if he sees us as boring?" She gently took his hand, her reassuring grip steadying his nerves. "It's not boring, it's beautiful. But you have to be honest with him. It could mean a lot." As if sensing their conversation, Sam returned, looking between them with a raised eyebrow. "What were you two chatting about?" He tilted his head playfully. "Plans for world domination?" Dave shared a laugh, a moment of levity breaking the tension. "Nah, just deciding who's more boring, me for being married, or you for running off to the mountains." "Touché, but I'll take the mountains any day." Sam grinned, but his eyes softened as they met Emily's. "What about you, Em? How have you been holding up with everything?" A flicker of hesitance passed between them, and Emily took a deep breath, letting her courage blossom. "I'm good. Thanks, actually." She paused, searching for the right words. "But something big is coming." "What do you mean?" Sam leaned forward, curiosity sparkling in his eyes. In that moment, Dave's heart raced again, feeling the warm surge of fear and joy washing over him. He could feel the underlying significance of the moment. Would it strengthen their family bond? Or would it complicate things further? His eyes met Emily's, and he heard her heart beating just as fast. We're having a baby," Emily finally said, her voice steady but tinged with excitement. Time itself seemed to hang suspended as Sam's expression transformed. It was as if he had stepped into a different realm, the surprise, joy, and incredulous disbelief dancing across his features. "Are you serious? Wow!" he exclaimed, engulfing Emily in a bear hug. "This is incredible." Dave felt a rush of relief, the burden of hesitation falling away. As Emily laughed, he couldn't help but join in, wrapping his arm around them both. But in that joyful bubble, the reality hit him. This moment wasn't just about happiness. It was about navigating the complexities of their lives as a family. Just as they began to settle in their shared joy, another shadow flickered at the edge of the gathering. Dave's instincts kicked in again. What was coming next? Why did it feel like another storm was brewing just out of sight? As the laughter subsided and the reality of their life unfolded, the pressing need to confront the unknown hung heavy in the air. What else would they have to face together as a family? Sam stepped back from Emily, his excitement still radiating as he tried to process the news. "A baby! That's amazing!" His voice climbed an octave, drawing glances from others nearby. "Wow, your lives are really changing. I can't believe it." The conversations around them dulled, and eyes turned toward Dave and Emily, curiosity piqued. Dave sensed the shift, the focus narrowing in on their little unit, and his stomach tightened. The chatter resumed, but a sudden weight of expectation filled the air. It was as if everyone were holding their breath, waiting for him to say something more. "Yeah, it's a big deal," Dave finally said, trying to keep his tone steady. But now the laughter felt different, laced with an undertone of apprehension. "Incredible," Sam exclaimed again, his enthusiasm infectious. "What's the due date? Do you know if it's going to be a boy or a girl?" "Not yet," Emily interjected, her smile bright. "We want it to be a surprise." Sam nodded vigorously, still beaming. That's how it should be. You two are going to be such great parents. Dave's heart swelled at his brother's joy, but a familiar shadow crept into the edge of his thoughts. Thanks, man. We hope so. As the banter continued, Dave found himself lost in his own mind, replaying memories of childhood with Sam. The treehouse they built, the secret hideouts in the woods. Those carefree moments felt worlds away now. A breeze swept through the gathering, bringing a rustle of leaves and a sense of change. Dave braced himself, worrying about how this new chapter might rewrite the history they'd shared. Would Sam feel the pull of adventure again, abandoning them to chase after that life? Are you still hitting the road? He asked, the words slipping out before he could stop them. Sam's smile faltered for just a moment. I'm not sure, honestly. I thought I'd come back for a while. He looked around at the familiar faces. But maybe it's time to settle down too. Life is funny like that. Dave swallowed hard, his stomach swirling. Sam's words sparked a flicker of hope, but also a fear of losing him again. Would he stick around? And what about their growing family? As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the gathering, a voice pierced through the laughter. It was Rachel, an old friend who had seen Sam leave years ago. So, what are you going to do now, Sam? Are you planning on sticking around for the baby's arrival? Pressure built in Dave's chest. He could sense the tide of the conversation shifting again, and he wanted to scream that this wasn't the moment for old expectations. The eyes on Sam turned to every hint of their childhood rivalry, every unspoken tension of who had moved forward the right way. I mean, why not settle down, right? Sam replied, attempting to diffuse the moment. But hey, it's not like I could do all that without my younger brother's guidance. He's the one who knows how to adult now. He laughed lightly, but there was a seriousness behind it that hit home. Emily reached out, placing her hand on Dave's forearm. We'd love for you to be a part of this journey, Sam, she said, her voice warm and genuine. While he appreciated her supportive spirit, Dave felt a nagging doubt clawing at him. What did it mean for their relationship now that a baby was on the way? Absolutely. I mean, if I can help you both, I'll do it, Sam promised, his sincerity evident. But I'm just not sure where I fit into all this. Suddenly, a siren rang out in the distance, drawing their attention away from their circle of shared dreams. Dave's heart raced. What was that? Was it a veiled warning? A harbinger of more chaos ahead? As the laughter faded and the questions lingered, he wondered what other secrets and surprises life had in store for their newly forming family. The comfort of the moment now felt fragile, echoing the truth that change was coming. But was anyone truly ready for what lay ahead? The siren cut through the air, a harsh reminder that life had its own plans. Dave turned, scanning the horizon as the sound faded into the background, replaced once again by laughter. But it felt different now, like a thin layer of ice had formed over the joy that had been radiating just moments before. Hey, you okay? Emily's voice was soft, pulling Dave back into the moment. Her brow furrowed, eyes searching his for answers. There was that warmth again, anchoring him, even as he felt the weight of uncertainty growing. Yeah, just thinking, he replied, forcing a smile. But it didn't completely reach his eyes. It wasn't just the impending changes. Something deeper pulsed anxiously within him. Sam was still talking, animated gestures and infectious laughter flowing freely. I mean, can you imagine? A little Sam or Emily running around? The world wouldn't know what hit it. He chuckled, a sound that cut through Dave's swirling thoughts, if only for a moment. I can totally picture it, Emily grinned, her infectious enthusiasm somehow tethering the spiraling anxiety in Dave's gut. As they exchanged laughter, Dave couldn't shake the feeling of being on the edge of something monumental. Their family dynamic was shifting. Inside, he could feel old fears flaring up, the fear of being left behind. Would Sam prioritize adventure over family now that they were on the brink of this new life? "Hey, Sam," Dave called out over the chatter. "So what's your plan then? No wandering the country with a baby on the way?" Sam turned serious, a flicker of vulnerability crossing his face. "I don't know, honestly. The thought of being part of this, watching you guys grow into parents, it's kind of amazing. But will I fit in that picture? Will I be a good uncle? Or will I just end up being the cool uncle that bursts in and leaves when things get real?" The weight of Sam's words hung in the air, pulling the laughter thin. The gaze from Emily, softened by compassion, reflected what they were all feeling, the blended fear and excitement of the unknown. "Just be yourself, Sam," Emily said, reaching out to squeeze his shoulder. "You don't have to have it all figured out. We'll figure it out together." Dave's heart warmed at her words. She always had a way of bringing a sense of calm to chaos. But doubt still lurked. What does it mean to grow together when fears linger? The sun continued its descent, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. It was beautiful, yet ever so fleeting. Like their moment, the sunset was exquisite, but reminded him that dusk would arrive eventually. "Do you think you might consider staying for more than just a visit?" Rachel's question came suddenly, shifting the mood again. Dave felt the collective tension rise once more, a quickening thrum of anticipation lacing through the discussions. Sam looked thoughtful, scratching his chin while weighing his response. "I don't know. I haven't thought about it seriously. I always said I didn't want to anchor myself. Freedom means everything to me. But did it?" Judging by the way he lingered in this moment, under the soft glow of twilight with family gathered close, Dave had to wonder if freedom could coexist with family in the heart of a man like Sam. Just as Sam opened his mouth to speak, a loud crack echoed through the air, snapping them back to the present. "What was that?" Emily asked, her eyes wide with surprise and concern. Dave felt the knot in his stomach tighten further. As he scanned the area, he caught sight of the approaching dark clouds that had crept in silently, now looming overhead. A change was coming, and it wasn't just the season, it was more. "Whatever it is," he said slowly, "I've got a feeling it's about to get interesting." As the first droplet of rain began to fall, they all looked at each other, and that question hung between them. Were they truly prepared for the surprises that life had in store next? The rain began with a gentle patter, each drop hitting like a reminder of life's unpredictability. The laughter that had filled the air moments before fell silent, replaced by the sound of rain dancing on leaves. Dave felt the coolness brush his skin and shivered, but it wasn't just the sudden change in temperature. "Should we head inside?" Rachel suggested, glancing at the dark clouds as they spilled more rain. Emily nodded, still watching Dave, curiosity and concern mixed in her expression. "Yeah, let's do that," Sam agreed, a hint of relief washing over his face. "I've always said I'd prefer to avoid the electric shock of a summer storm." They all gathered their things, glancing at each other, their unspoken thoughts swirling in the moist air. As they scurried toward the porch, Dave fell behind. He needed a moment. Both the laughter and the laughter's absence thickened the air around him. The unease in his gut tightened. "Dave!" Emily's voice called back lightly, pulling him from his thoughts. "You coming?" He offered a weak smile and quickened his pace. Inside, the cozy warmth enveloped him, though it did little to comfort the storm raging in his mind. Everyone moved to the living room, where they could watch the rain through the large window. "What an ominous sky," Sam joked as they settled onto the couch, attempting to reintroduce the playful vibe. But Dave merely nodded, his eyes fixed outside, the world blurred into streaks of gray and green. "Hey," Emily's voice cut through the silence again, more firm this time. "What's going on with you?" Her words were like an eye of calm in a storm. He turned to face her. Those deep, expressive eyes filled with concern, anchored him in a moment that felt heavy with realization. It's just... He hesitated. A lot of changes coming. I keep wondering if I'm ready for them. Ready or not, they're happening, Sam added, trying to lighten the mood, but the weight hung too heavily. Laughter broke out unexpectedly, not from their trio, but from an old sitcom playing in the background. It felt out of place against their tangle of emotions, and yet it reminded Dave how tinged life could be with humor, how intertwined it was with fear. Look, Emily interjected softly, whatever's on your mind, you know you can talk to us, right? He took a deep breath, feeling the dam in his chest crack just a little. It's not just about Sam. It's me. What if I'm not enough? His voice was just above a whisper, raw and vulnerable. The realization struck them all like thunder. Sam glanced at Emily, both feeling the weight of his words. You're enough, man. We all are just trying to figure this out. It's scary. But that's part of it, right? Yeah, Dave said, folding his arms as though encasing himself in a protective shell. But maybe I'm about to lose that family I've come to love. Before anyone could respond, the door creaked open, and in walked Rachel, breathless. You guys, you won't believe what I just heard. What? They all exclaimed in unison, the tension instantly shifting to intrigue. The town's having a surprise party, because guess what? Emily and Dave are about to become parents. Rachel's eyes sparkled mischievously. Gasps filled the room, and suddenly the concerns that had wrapped so tightly around Dave eased. The unexpected news buzzed through them, and for the first time, their fears began to drift, lifted by waves of joy. But just as laughter erupted again, Rachel tilted her head, suddenly serious. And I think there's more, Dave. Emily... A flash of thunder rolled in the background, echoing through the room. The storm mirrored the turmoil that still lingered in their hearts. More? Dave's heart raced again. What do you mean? Rachel opened her mouth, yet the words hung suspended in the air, as if the storm outside was waiting as intently as they for the truth to emerge. In that moment, uncertainty loomed once more, thicker than the storm clouds gathering outside. What revelation could change everything they thought they knew about their impending journey? As the thunder rumbled outside, Rachel stood in the doorway, caught between the joyous uproar of surprise and the weight of whatever was left unsaid. The silence that followed her words wrapped around them, thick and heavy, like the clouds outside. What else is there? Dave asked, his stomach twisting. He shifted his weight, exchanging looks with Emily, who now wore a mixture of hope and apprehension. Rachel took a deep breath, her expression serious. Emily has something she wants to share. It's about the baby. Emily hesitated. She glanced down, as if gathering her thoughts from the floor. Dave, I wanted to tell you in my own time, but I didn't think it would come out like this. Just say it, he urged gently, his heart racing again, caught in a mixture of excitement and fear. What if I told you? It's twins. The words landed in the room like another rumble of thunder, a combined gasp escaping from Sam and Rachel. Dave's eyes widened, shock cascading through him, battling with burgeoning joy. Twins? Seriously? He echoed, his voice barely above a whisper, the reality still sinking in. You're sure? Emily nodded, a soft smile breaking across her face despite her initial nerves. I mean, the doctor confirmed it, so... Yeah. Laughter erupted again, this time mingled with disbelief and happiness. Sam threw his arms around both Emily and Rachel before planting a swift, congratulatory kiss on Dave's cheek. 2 for the price of 1. You're in for a wild ride, man. Dave couldn't help but smile at his friend's enthusiasm. The gravity of Emily's news struck him yet again. 2 little lives, 2 bundles of potential. He felt like his heart might burst. God, this is amazing. But, Rachel interjected, her brows knitting together. That's why I was coming in here in the first place. There's more to it. Emily hasn't been feeling well. A lot of stress with the move and everything. Stress? What are you talking about? Dave asked, suddenly feeling the joy dissipate like mist in the morning sun. It's the hormones and the changes, Emily interjected quickly, her expression shifting to one of concern. There've been some complications, Dave. Nothing dire, but... Dave stepped closer, alarm gripping him. Complications? What does that mean? Is everything okay? He could see the worry etched in her features. Rachel rushed to fill the silence. It just means she needs to take it easy. We're all here for you both, right? Absolutely, Sam said firmly. Whatever you need, we've got your backs. Their camaraderie warmed the room, but the flicker of uncertainty gnawed at Dave. Emily needed reassurance, and so did he. The cheerful uproar just a moment ago felt fragile now, as if a single wrong word could shatter it all. He looked into Emily's eyes, wanting to comfort her but wanting answers too. We'll figure this out together, he said, a promise heavy in the air. Just then, another crack of thunder shook the room, making them jump. The storm outside seemed to echo the turmoil they felt within. Each raindrop a question, each gust of wind another worry. What will we do? He asked finally, his voice almost lost among the sounds of nature. As they stood together, uncertainty instrumental between them, Emily reached for Dave's hand. We'll take it one day at a time, right? Like we always have. Dave nodded, squeezing her hand tight. The storm might rage and the world might change, but they were in this together. That much was clear. But just as a flicker of hope ignited between them, Rachel's phone buzzed, breaking the moment. With a glance at the screen, her face paled. Wait. Oh no. There's been an accident at the clinic. An accident? Emily echoed, glancing nervously at her friends. Dave's heart sank as dread rushed in. What kind of accident? And how would it affect them? As they turned to face whatever news was coming their way, fear crept back in, wrapping around their hearts like the storm outside. What new twists awaited them on this tumultuous journey? The room fell silent. The weight of Rachel's words hung like the damp air from the storm brewing outside. Dave's pulse quickened. An accident at the clinic? His mind raced, fueled by thoughts of Emily and their future. Why did it feel like everything was unraveling just as it was beginning to take shape? What kind of accident? He asked, his voice shaky despite his attempt to sound calm. Rachel's eyes were wide, uncertainty flickering across her features. I don't know, she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. She took another look at her phone, trying to gather information. They're not giving many details just yet. Emily's grip tightened around Dave's hand. Fear danced in her eyes. What if it's someone we know? She murmured, her voice tinged with dread. Let's wait for more information, Sam said, ever the voice of reason. We can't jump to conclusions. He moved closer, trying to reassure both women. We're here. Whatever it is, we can handle it together. But as more thunder roared in the distance, Dave could feel the deepening chasm of worry. There were twins coming into the world, and they needed stability, not chaos. The storms inside and outside melded, creating an atmosphere thick with anxiety. After a few excruciating moments, a notification pinged on Rachel's phone. She quickly scanned the message. It's about the building, she managed to choke out. There's been a structural failure. They're evacuating the area. Emily's face paled further, her eyes widening. The clinic is in that building. What if... Stop, Dave interrupted, trying to hold back the rush of emotions. We don't know anything for certain. Let's just focus on getting the full picture. Rachel nodded but didn't look convinced. What if someone was hurt? Her voice cracked slightly, revealing underlying fear. Dave breathed slowly, forcing himself to think clearly. "We'll find out. We're going to stick together and get through this." He squeezed Emily's hand again, grounding both of them in that moment, despite the new twists bound to come. But as if in answer to his unspoken concerns, Rachel's phone buzzed again. Her face was a mask of fear as she read the incoming text. "They've confirmed that everyone is safe, but they're closing the clinic indefinitely. They say it could take weeks for them to assess the damage." Relief and concern swirled in the room. "That means..." "What?" Emily asked, her voice trembling. "It means," Rachel hesitated, "that any follow-up appointments, checkups, it's all on hold." Fear flickered in Emily's eyes. "What does this mean for the babies?" she breathed, falling into the uncertainty of the moment. Dave's heart raced once again. "Okay, we'll figure this out. We can find another clinic. We can call doctors. We just need to make a plan." "Plans? They're hard to make right now," Rachel said, her voice hollow. The unpredictability of their situation crashed down on them like the thunderous storm outside. How could they prepare for anything when the ground beneath them was shaky? "I can't believe this is happening," Sam said, frustration creeping into his tone. "We were just celebrating." And so, as the friends stood together, watching the storm swallow the sun, an overwhelming feeling pressed upon them. A sense of powerlessness against the unfolding reality. Each of them grasped tightly to hope, even as fear threatened to take hold. "Whatever happens, we're in this together," Dave asserted, his voice steadying every heart in the room. "We'll hold each other up. We owe it to the twins and to ourselves." As they reaffirmed their vow of support, each felt a flicker of determination, yet a question remained in the air. Would they truly be able to weather the storm that lay ahead? And just as the winds howled louder, Rachel's phone buzzed again. "Guys, listen to this." What awaited them next could change everything. Rachel's voice trembled as she read the new message. "There's a charity organization setting up temporary clinics in the area for those affected." She looked up at Dave, her expression revealing a mixture of hope and uncertainty. "They're promising support for families who need medical care, and they might help us with resources." Resources. Emily's brow knitted, her tone caught between skepticism and desire. "What does that even mean for us, Rachel?" "They have doctors and nurses on hand," Rachel continued, her eyes brightening with the prospect. "They're providing consultations and even referrals to other clinics. We just need to reach out to them." Dave felt a spark of optimism flicker within him, even as tension still twisted in his stomach. "That's a start. We can look into it. If there's a chance for us to get the care we need." He took a deep breath, trying to gather his thoughts. "We should definitely contact them." The storm outside rattled the windows as the wind began to whip harder against the glass, but inside, a feeling of urgency replaced some of their earlier dread. "I'll take care of it," Rachel said, her fingers tapping furiously on her phone, trying to navigate to the organization's contact information. With every passing moment, the impending storm felt less ominous, like it was isolating their small circle of friends from outside chaos. Sam stood by the door, glancing outside. "We can't stay here for too long. If they're evacuating, we need to think about where we'll go after this." "Let's stick to the plan," Dave said, struggling to contain the rising tide of emotion. "We'll call the charity, figure out our next steps, and then..." He paused, glancing at Emily, whose face told him she was spinning with thoughts 1 minute and lingering on fear the next. "And then we'll get through this together, one step at a time." The four of them crowded around Rachel, who read from her phone with more enthusiasm now. "They're even setting up a hotline for families with urgent needs. I can call them and get more information on how to proceed." "Please do," Emily encouraged, her voice calm, but wrapped in the remaining threads of anxiety. We need to know what options we have. Rachel nodded, more composed now, and threw herself into the task with a determined enthusiasm that lifted the mood slightly. As she dialed, Dave watched her, appreciating that through turmoil, hope was still within reach. When Rachel finally hung up, she breathed out a sigh of relief. They're sending 2 nurses to meet us at a local community center in under an hour. They'll help us with whatever questions we have for the babies. Any follow-ups that need to happen. A wave of relief rolled over them, momentarily pushing fear to the side. "That's amazing," Sam exclaimed, though his excitement faded quickly into worry. "But what about the future? Announcing a closing is a big deal. How long until this clinic gets back? What if we need them urgently?" Dave saw the doubt in his friends' faces, and while uncertainty still loomed, he decided to cling to the promise of the new information they had. "We'll cross that bridge when we come to it," he said with genuine conviction. "For now, we have a path forward. Let's focus on the next steps, especially with the twins so close." Just as the storm rumbled outside, echoes of joy and vulnerability filled the room. But as they stood there together, fortified by the news and their solidarity, the reality was still there. How long could hope sustain them? Would the help they sought truly carry them through the storm? As Emily glanced out the window at the heavy rain, her eye caught something in the distance, a flash of movement that sent her heart racing. "What is that?" she breathed, pointing outside. And just like that, another wave of anxiety swept over them, pulling their attention back to the unpredictable world outside. What lay ahead could change everything yet again. The rain pounded against the windows, each drop a reminder of the tempest engulfing the world outside. Inside their home, however, David and Emily, together with Sam and Rachel, felt a flicker of hope illuminating the darkness. The news about the charity clinic had shifted their fears, if only a little. They now had a plan. But Emily's gaze remained fixated on something beyond the chaos, something in the distance that danced just at the periphery of her vision. A flash, perhaps just a trick of the storm's shadows. "What is that?" Her voice trembled, urgency tinged with intrigue. "Let's check it out," Dave suggested, seizing the moment. Curiosity mingled with the dread that had been hanging heavy in the air, pulling them away from their fears and toward the unknown. Stepping outside, they braved the elements as they carefully ventured into the storm. The rain soaked their clothes in seconds, but that rush of fun gave them strength. Adrenaline surged through Dave as he squinted against the downpour. "There! Look!" Rachel shouted, pointing toward a figure moving toward them through the sheets of water. It was becoming clearer with each step forward, illuminated by the paltry light peering through the cloud cover. Their hearts raced. Was it a friend? A neighbor? The figure stumbled closer, and the steady rhythm of drops fell silent within them. Emily's heart stopped, and then jolted back to life as the figure emerged from the rain, revealing a familiar face. "Mom?" Emily gasped, disbelief and joy intertwining, giving life to a moment she had never imagined. "Emily!" her mother cried, her voice breaking through the tumult around them. Bursting into tears, they collapsed into a warm embrace that pushed the storm behind them. "I came as soon as I heard," her mom said, holding tightly, as if trying to shield Emily from the world and its worries. Overwhelmed by the rush of emotion, Dave watched, feeling a mix of relief and joy settle in his chest. This was the support they needed. Family. His chest swelled as he stepped forward. "Martha," he greeted her warmly, feeling a bond rekindle after so many years apart. "It's good to see you." "What are you doing here?" Emily asked, pulling back, wiping her cheeks. "We thought you were away on that trip. I dropped everything when I heard about the storm. And the baby news." Martha's eyes sparkled, her heart brimming with love. She knew that Emily and Dave needed help, and that navigating family life would be a challenge, but they wouldn't have to face it alone. Emily's happiness painted her face. "Mom, We were just talking about the charity coming to help us. It's been... She paused, the urgency of their situation pulling at her again. We're having twins, and things got complicated fast. Martha wrapped an arm around her daughter's shoulders, pulling her close. I'm here for you, sweetheart. Whatever challenges come your way, we'll face them together. You're not alone in this. Mom, thank you, Emily whispered, the ache in her heart beginning to soften. They turned back toward the house, and Dave felt lighter, the burdens of uncertainty beginning to shift. Inside, they filled the living room, laughter quickly replacing the tension. The storm faded into a hushed backdrop, an invitation to reconnect. As they settled on the couch, Martha listened to Dave and the others share their fears, hopes, and plans. The warmth of the moment radiated through the room, entwining them together like a patchwork quilt stitched from memories. Dave felt gratitude cascade over him as Emily's mother lifted spirits with stories of when she was pregnant. You know, when you're faced with challenges, Martha said, her eyes glimmering, it's all about learning to adapt. Life doesn't always give you what you want, but it gives you what you need if you let love guide you. Love is the most powerful force, isn't it? Sam chimed in, the laughter lightening the mood further. Who would have thought the heart of it all would be a chaotic storm? As the night wore on, the storms outside slowly retreated. The rain tempered to a steady drip, and the familiar sound welcomed new conversations. They envisioned together the twins, anticipating the long nights and bright mornings filled with laughter. In a moment of stillness, Emily looked around at the faces surrounding her. Love bathed the space, washing over past fears. I'm thankful you're here, she said earnestly, finding each gaze a support beam for her heart. The evening slipped into warmth, and at that moment, as they shared their stories and formed plans for the future, they all felt an honesty blossom. Together, they would embrace uncertainties, face fears, and allow room for love to illuminate even the darkest paths ahead. They were a family, reborn among the storms of life, and they were ready. As the rain heralded its departure, and a newfound calmness enveloped their home, Dave knew that the road ahead would be unpredictable. His newfound strength surged. The support of Emily, their friends, and now her mother, reminded him that together they had built a community, one that could weather any storm. And just as understanding nestled in their hearts, Rachel broke the peacefulness with a grin. So, who's ready for some cake to celebrate? Laughter erupted in the room, brightening the mood and filling the air with hope. And in that moment, Dave realized they were indeed ready. Ready for parenthood, ready for whatever awaited them, and ready to keep moving forward. Together. Now, as we wrap up this heartwarming journey, remember to nurture the threads of support in your own life. You need to subscribe now to join us for stories that inspire and transform lives. Leave a like now to fuel the algorithm that helps spread positivity. Comment below with your reactions to this beautiful conclusion and share how you found unexpected strength in family or friends during hard times. And don't wait. Not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see that love knows no bounds. Your support means everything. Let's weave our stories together.